these meetings that you've been having today, is Iran now prepared to meet the concerns, to answer the concerns of the international community and freeze its uranium enrichment activities?
Well, I do not accept that today the concern of the international community is what you are referring to. The concern of the international community has to be about U.S. disarmament, why it has not happened. Also, the international community is worried about the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Who is giving nuclear weapons to the Zionist regime? They're asking. The Islamic Republic of Iran organized a disarmament conference and called on the world to disarm.
All right, but let me interrupt, because these are issues that are out there, of course, but this conference, for much of the world, for the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, plus Germany, remember, it's about Iran's nuclear issue. What practical steps are you prepared to take to ease the concerns in the world that you are developing a nuclear weapon?
Well, the issue had nothing to do with Iran's nuclear issue. We never talked about the nuclear issue. What we talked about, well, we were discussing how we can utilize the capacities which exist between the 6 countries and the Islamic Republic of Iran to work together to cooperate over common ground. The Islamic Republic of Iran, as a member state of the NPT and the agency who has always condemned nuclear weapons, is calling for the disarmament of the UN and other nuclear powers and the strengthening of
What senior US officials are telling us is that 75% of the time over the past 2 days in these negotiations has been spent focusing on the Iranian nuclear issue. Are you saying that they're not telling the truth?
Well, I told you, the issue at hand, the talks, was not this. The theme of the talks, if you will, was how to find common ground for cooperation. We said that we will not accept talks under the cloud, if you will, of pressure. The Americans had miscalculated, took certain actions. They had reached an impasse, imposed a lot of costs and expense on their nations, thousands of billions of dollars spent in Iraq for that matter, a huge sum. And such money, well, the world is experiencing a financial crisis.
All right, but Iran is now facing increasing international isolation. You're here in Geneva, and the opposite side are the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, plus Germany. Are you concerned? Let me finish. Are you concerned that if this diplomatic process does not yield the kind of results that the international community wants, that you will face more sanctions and possibly military action?
Well, what you are saying, again, is based on a wrong foundation. The international community, you did see for yourself that last week NAM states, 100 and odd countries, supported Iran's peaceful nuclear program. And this is wrong information being given.
But the truth is, the international community, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, don't believe that your nuclear program is peaceful. Otherwise, they wouldn't have passed 4 rounds of economic sanctions against you.
Well, what the debate is, well, we are asking this question: on what basis have these resolutions been passed? This is a huge disgrace. In the resolutions of the UNSC, the names of Iranian scientists are included, and terrorists assassinate them. What kind of relationship exists between these resolutions and terrorists? And the international community needs to address these concerns. Why are terrorists charged with implementing these resolutions? Can I finish my thought, please? You just want to ask your questions, and I need to provide you with complete answers, if I may. Well, this is a question, and the people need to ask the American government why UNSC resolutions include the names of Iranian scientists, and later terrorists assassinate those scientists.
But that's an important issue, you're right. But surely a bigger issue is that the countries like Russia that you've depended on for diplomatic support at the Security Council have shown themselves to be increasingly frustrated with Iran's intransigence, with Iran's inaction over the demands of the international community. Are you worried that Iran now is isolated and stands alone with its uranium enrichment
شما
program?
می‌بینید که یکی از
You see for yourself that one of the miscalculations which has been made is the same. They were thinking that they can persuade the American public that the international community is opposing Iran, and on that basis they were hoping the sanctions would pay off. But you see for yourself that the Iranian community, Iranian people are prospering, our economy is prospering. The rest of the world, in Europe for example, financial crises are happening one after the other, and we are in the middle of performing, for that matter, an economic reform scheme.
All right. One last question. These new talks that you've agreed to today in late January, early February next year, do you intend at those talks in Istanbul to address the international concerns? Will you talk about freezing your uranium enrichment program then, or is that off the agenda as well?
Having the fuel cycle is the right of my people and the right of all parties who have signed up to the NPT, and it is not open to bargain. What we agreed over today was to work towards addressing common concerns and common points of cooperation and to find common ground. We think one of the concerns before the international community has to be American nuclear arsenals. And one of the questions, again, the world is asking is who provided nuclear weapons to the Zionist regime. For the information of the American public, I have to say that one of the fundamental questions which persists today.
All right, well, you've already made this point, and I appreciate it was well made. Thank you very much, Dr. Jalili, for being with us. There you have it. Back to you in the studio there, Hala. It was the Secretary of the Iranian National Security Council, Dr. Jalili, giving us his insights and thoughts on these Geneva talks.